She said, "We'll talk Monday." I said nothing, just sent her the papers. I never imagined it would end like this, not with a phone call, not with a fight, not with tears, but with silence and a stack of papers sliding across the table of our life together. Her name is Karen. We had been married for nearly 10 years. 10 years of shared routines, inside jokes, quiet nights on the couch, birthdays, vacations, and a family we built together. Or at least I thought we had. It started slowly. The little things. Late nights at work that turned into excuses I couldn't verify. Phone calls she would quickly end when I entered the room. Texts she claimed were just friends, though their tone suggested otherwise. I noticed. I worried. I questioned. She reassured me each time, with a smile that once used to be sincere. Then came the undeniable signs. Hidden messages, sudden withdrawals from family events, the way she looked at her phone with a secretive smirk. It wasn't paranoia anymore. It was proof. She was seeing someone else. I confronted her, not angrily, not with accusations, but with honesty and desperation. "Karen, I need to know the truth. Are you seeing someone else?" She hesitated, then sighed. "We'll talk Monday," she said, as if postponing the conversation could erase the truth, as if waiting a few days could make her betrayal less real. Monday came. I waited, and waited. But the realization hit me. This wasn't about timing. This wasn't about conversation. This was about choice. She had already chosen. I didn't respond to her delay with words. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I simply acted. I had already consulted a lawyer discreetly, gathered evidence, and prepared the documents that would legally end the life I had once trusted her to share with me. On Monday morning, instead of waiting for her to talk, I sent her the papers. Divorce papers, custody arrangements, financial settlements, every detail considered, every protection in place. I didn't add explanations, I didn't write notes, I didn't leave room for negotiation. Silence became my voice. The papers were proof. The action spoke louder than any conversation could. Her reaction came hours later. Shock, anger, tears, excuses, attempts to justify her choices. She called repeatedly, texted, pleaded, threatened, but I didn't respond. I couldn't, because betrayal had already spoken louder than her words ever could. I spent the following days moving quietly, packing my life, securing my future, and ensuring that my dignity remained intact. Each item packed was a reminder. Trust once broken cannot simply be repaired by promises. Respect, once ignored, cannot be restored by apologies. Friends and family asked why I hadn't tried to work things out or have a real conversation. They didn't understand that the conversation had already happened, silently, long before the papers arrived. The truth had been revealed not in her words, but in her actions, her choices, and her casual postponement. Weeks later, the divorce was finalized. The papers did their job. They didn't erase the pain, but they drew clear boundaries. They marked the end of a chapter defined by betrayal, lies, and misplaced priorities. I learned something vital from that experience. Betrayal doesn't always require confrontation. Sometimes it doesn't even require anger. Sometimes the most powerful response is clarity, preparation, and action. To protect yourself, to reclaim your dignity, and to refuse to let someone else dictate the narrative of your life. Karen's words, "We'll talk Monday," were meant to postpone, to manipulate, to soften the blow of her guilt. But in the end, they only revealed the truth. She had already chosen. And I, in my silence and deliberate action, chose myself. Walking away wasn't easy, but it was necessary. Because in the end, the strongest response to betrayal isn't always a fight, a scream, or a dramatic scene. Sometimes it's simply saying nothing and letting the truth speak for itself.